everyone. This is Christy Trusty with Sunshine Bird Vacations LLC, and I'm here today to give you a review of the week we spent at the Sandals Grande Antigua in Antigua, the island, from November 9th through 15th of 2025. And if you haven't been to one of these before, I just kind of take you through what we did, what we thought, just our full review of it. And it was me and my husband, Robbie, as well as my two friends, Jamie and Giles. We were kind of doing a couples vacation. So let's get started. All right. Technically, we were supposed to get there Saturday, November 8th, but this was the time where they were having some issues. So they basically, our flight, we were going through American and through Miami, and we made it from Chicago to Miami, but then our plane in Miami ended up having some issues and they had to take it out of service. And because of the other issues going on at this time, they couldn't find us another plane to use until the very next day, so we missed out on a full day of our vacation. Thankfully, American gave us a credit for a hotel room that night. We just stayed at one of the airport hotels, and then they gave us a voucher, like two different Uber rides, up to I think it was like $45 or something, which we didn't need, but we used those to we used the free shuttle to get to the hotel, and then we used the Uber to get to Walmart because American would not give us back our luggage, and my husband isn't as prepared as I am. So he did not have another set of clothing to wear for the next day. So we went to Walmart and picked him up some clothing. And then there was a sushi place by there. So we ate sushi and then we made our way back to the hotel using the second Uber credit, and then we used the next day the free airport shuttle to get back. So we were able to use all the credits that American gave us and get back on our plane. And our flight was scheduled for 9:45, but it didn't end up taking off. It was on the runway for quite a while until like noon. So we actually didn't get there until 4 p.m. So we technically lost a full day of our vacation, got to Antigua Sunday, November 9th, around 4 p.m. But I did want to point out, so the Miami airport, we had a lot of time spent there trying to figure things out. But they had these fish circles, which I thought were so cool. Just art everywhere. They had different fish circles, all different fish. I don't know. It was really cool. So if you're ever in the Miami airport, go look for that fish circle area. That's what we're dubbing it, the fish circle wall, but they also had like several other walls of it too. So I don't know if they just bought a bunch of them from someone from somewhere, like got a great deal in bulk, but they're kind of interesting. And then I do want to mention that the Sandals Resort, we did have a scuba refresher booked for Sunday morning. And because we weren't going to be there for it, we called the resort and they got that updated to Monday instead of Sunday morning. So that was really nice and easy. And then we just had to tell them that, hey, we're still coming. We'll just be a day late. And because we bought the travel protection, I was actually able to submit a claim for that one night to get back our money. I haven't seen it come back yet, but it has only been a month, so it might take a little while to get back in our pockets. But I definitely recommend getting the travel insurance in case something like this happens to you. All right, so let's move on. Our flight took off at noon. We got there at 4. By 4:10, everybody was off the plane and making their way to the customs line. I do want to point out the night before we found arriveantigua.com. That's their online entry form. So you can see here, start entry form. So you basically load in your passport information, take a picture of yourself, just all the declarations you have if you're bringing something in. And they do require it, like gives you a QR code once you've done that, and you can do it for both everyone in your party, not just yourself. So you just have one QR code, sorry. And then they do require you to show them that QR code before they let you get into the customs line. So we ended up bypassing a ton of people by having this done already, showing the QR code, getting in line. So we were pretty close in line, but then when we got up there, they were looking at our form and our photos. The photo that I took of my husband made it look like he didn't have a shirt on. So they did not like that, and they made us redo it. I kid you not. So we had to go out of line, go to the side. We had to redo the whole form, which takes like 5, 10 minutes. And then we went back, and I was like starving. So this really sucked. But we got through, we got our luggage, we went through the next gate, and then we finally got to the Sandals. There is no Sandals lounge. So if you've been to a Sandals before, like maybe Jamaica, where they have the Sandals Club Lounge, where you get to hang out and get a drink before they take you to your shuttle. They did not have that at this airport. So you just basically walk out, you find the Sandals people, you get your luggage tagged, and they load you up into a vehicle. And I kid you not, it's a 15-minute drive from the airport to the resort. So we landed at 4 and we were to the resort by 5. It was all pretty easy, pretty streamlined. Thankfully, no other flights were arriving at the same time as us, so we did not need like a fast track. We did not use a fast track. We were through pretty quickly for customs. But I do want to mention there are two different lobbies that you come to. Um, so there's the Caribbean side lobby, and then there's the Mediterranean side lobby. And it depends on where you're staying. So usually your room will have like a Caribbean or a Mediterranean in it. We were staying at the Mediterranean club level suite, code VS. So we had to get the second lobby, which was actually this, or sorry, the Mediterranean lobby, which was actually the second stop. So they stopped at the Caribbean lobby first, and then they stopped at the Mediterranean. And I know that there's new Sunset Bluff rooms, and I cannot tell you which side they go to. So sorry about that. I don't know exactly which side they would have you stop at for Sunset Bluff. But either way, we went to the Mediterranean side hotel lobby, and they took us into the Club Sandals Lounge, which was very big and pretty. In that lounge, they have like mixers and drinks and coffee and pastries. So if you're running like late for something and you need to pick up something, like something to eat really quickly or a coffee really quickly, that's the place to go. They also have bottled water if you're running low in your room and you want some more bottled water. So it's honestly, we've only stayed club or butler. We've never stayed luxury. The club to me is just it's worth it, and the ability to go and like grab things really quickly or to get your like restaurant reservations and all in one place when checking in, that kind of thing. Um, so I do like it. We don't use the room service ever, but you could. But it is good to know that the club level rooms, room service only goes to 10, and the butler rooms actually have 24-hour room service. So that's nice for them. But we got to the Club Sandals Lounge. They gave us a little wet rag to kind of freshen ourselves up with, and they took that away. And then they brought us a drink. And the drink was called Island Time. I think it was just the drink of the day, to be honest, but it was amazing. I definitely recommend trying an Island Time while you are there. It's a really good drink. That's why I took a picture of it. I was like, "Ooh, this is really good." And then they sit you down. So there were several of us couples, but we were all sitting down, and they go and they check us in. And while we're waiting to be checked in, there is a lady who goes around scheduling spa appointments. So I do recommend if you're level, so there's different levels with sandal, but if you're coral level or higher, you get some a coupon to use at the spa. But you can't like if you book the spa appointment ahead, you won't be able to use that coupon because you pay for it ahead too when you book it ahead. So if you want to use the coupon, you have to wait till you're on the resort to make an appointment, but they made it really super easy in the Sandals Lounge. where the lady just came over and I told her, yeah, I would love to have a spa appointment tomorrow, like tomorrow morning sometime. And she was like, okay, cool. And she came back and on like online when you're trying to schedule it online and it gives you like set times. She came back and she was like, okay, we can do 10 a.m., whatever you want. And I was like, cool, because I love the velvety lemon scrub. So I got that scheduled for the very next morning, and I'll go through that in the next page. But it was very easy to get that scheduled. And then they came back with our welcome packet, and it had like Club Sandals events because they have certain little events like martinis or wine tastings and stuff like that throughout the week. So it came back with that, had days, times, locations for those events. And then it also had a list of the restaurants and their open times and close times and like little I think you can now kind of reserve them yourself on the app, but we didn't need to because our friends had Butler level and they actually used their Butler to schedule all of our restaurant reservations. So that was kind of nice of them. But anyways, after that, we were given our room number, room keys, two of them. And we were actually in the lowest floor of the Mediterranean hotel, like the main hotel. We were in the lowest floor. Um, and there are some walkouts there, but the one we had was just like a balcony, but it was like a little bit off the ground, right? So it wasn't a walkout, but it was still closer to the ground. So you couldn't see the ocean as well, but you got like a really beautiful view of the resort and then like off in the distance a little bit of ocean. And you can see that I did post a Mediterranean Club level suite VS like room walkthrough that includes the view. So go and find that on my YouTube channel here if you're interested in seeing exactly what that room looked like. But after we checked in and our luggage was there waiting for us right when we came through the door, so that's really nice. After we checked in, we went to go meet up with our friends at Mario's. So they had, like I said, a butler and they made a bunch of reservations for them. And tonight, on Sunday night, they made a reservation for Mario's, which is the Italian place, the Italian restaurant on the resort. Um, and I won't kid you, Italian is usually not our favorite. So we end up usually skipping it, but since our friends had the reservation, we were like, okay, we'll go meet them. Don't have to eat the food if we don't like it, right? Um, but they ended up having this amazing appetizer buffet with a whole bunch of different, you can see here, this was my plate from the appetizer buffet. So you can try a whole bunch of different stuff. It was all really delicious. I actually took a video of that buffet, so go find that on my YouTube channel too if you're interested. But yeah, do not skip Mario's even if you're not an Italian lover because of that appetizer buffet. You don't have to get the meal if you don't want, but definitely try the appetizer buffet. And I did order the salsa verde steak, and I have to recommend it. It was a really good, really well cooked steak. I ordered it medium rare, which was perfectly cooked. And it was one of the best meals I had when I was there. So wonderful. And then after that, we proceeded to take like we kind of walked off our food, took a look around the resort, kind of a tour, and I have a couple walkthroughs of the resort on my YouTube channel as well. So go and find those if you're interested. I have during the day, and I also have at night to give you an idea of the vibe. Um, and so after that, we had heard that there was karaoke at the Drunken Duck at 10 p.m. So we went and we went and decided to get, a little bit more food because we had walked it off, walking all around the resort. And then we ended up getting some, they have like fish and chips, bangers and mash. But the thing that we loved the most there was their chicken wings. They are just so good. So if you ever find yourself at the Drunken Duck, get the chicken wings. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I did see some reviews from people saying that it smelled weird, but I didn't, none of the people in my party thought it smelled weird. So I don't know. Maybe they got rid of the smell, or maybe just some people think it smells weird and other people are completely fine with it. Um, And then after that, we proceeded to sing some very bad karaoke. I think we went up there like maybe 4 times. We were the main event and it was fun. So I have to mention that any Sandals resort is only fun if you make it fun. Go participate in the activities. Um, don't care about what anybody else thinks because you're not ever going to see them again, right? Right. But do take videos for blackmail later. That's my personal tip. So anyways, after that, it was super late. We wandered back to our bedroom at like 2 a.m. I don't know why we stayed up that late, and we were pretty drunk. So be careful of that too. You come to an all-inclusive, you start drinking, you keep drinking, and then you don't remember how you got back to your room, and your friends have to go, oh yeah, you guys were drunk, so we walked you there, so you got back. So thank you, friends, for walking us back that night. And we did much better the other nights, but yeah, be careful. All right, next day. So our first full day. I do want to mention my husband. So we're gonna go through what he did because we kind of had split days until we came back together. So in the morning he had that scuba refresher scheduled. It was extra. It was like 100, more than 100, 150, something like that. And so he went to that and he filled out some forms and he checked that he takes prescription medication. And it ended up being if you check that you take prescription medication, you have to have a doctor's note, and he did not. So he actually had to, thankfully, Sandals has a workaround. They have a resort doctor that they will send you to. It was like a $40 taxi there and back, so like 80 bucks total. And then $85 for the little doctor's appointment to get him cleared. He came back with that, and then they realized, it hadn't been a full year since he was scuba diving, so he didn't actually need the refresher. He just needed an orientation, and Sandals does provide the scuba orientation for free. They basically just take you in the pool, give you the rundown of what you're supposed to do, and it's really quick and easy and done, but you can't join the scuba diving until you've gone through that. I think it's optional actually. I think the scuba orientation is optional, but good if it's been a while. While all of that was happening, my split morning was I went to the gym. So I took a walk to the gym and I actually used it. Yeah. I'm trying to keep fit. That was my 2025 resolution and I've done really, really well at keeping it up at least 3 times a week. And elliptical is my main weapon of choice. So I went and worked out, and one thing I want to say is there is no Wi-Fi in there. And honestly, this was the same problem around the whole resort. Wi-Fi in general, just not the greatest around the resort. So it was good in the rooms, it was good at certain locations, but not all the way around the resort. So I did end up actually leaving my service on and paying $10 a day with Verizon just so I could have phone access and, Google things and keep up with everything that was going on back home. So I did want to mention that. And like, you can't do anything here, like watch shows, listen to music if you need Wi-Fi. So if you need Wi-Fi for any of those, like maybe download stuff before going to the gym if you don't want to leave your service on. Um, and then after that, I uh, grabbed a crepe. That's not a crepe. I didn't grab a, did I? I grabbed a pastry. So I went to Cafe de Paris on the walk back to my room because unfortunately the fitness center is on the Caribbean side. So it's a little bit of a walk from the Mediterranean side. So while I was walking back from my workout, I grabbed a pastry and a coffee, and then I went and I showered quick, and then I had to walk all the way back for my lemony velvet scrub at the spa. This is the spa entrance here. You walk in, they give you a form to fill out, just regular stuff. If you've ever been to a spa. And then they take you back, they give you a robe, you take off your clothes in the changing room, put on your robe. They do give you a locker with a key, which you keep the key on you at all times, just to make sure that your stuff is secure. And then they took me to a little room with like a waterfall feature, very serene. I didn't want to take video in there, so sorry I didn't get any video of the inside of the spa because I didn't want to disturb anyone's spa treatment. So I was in there. They gave me some water with infusion, fruit infused in it, really good water. And I sat there for maybe 10, 15 minutes before they came and got me and led me back for my lemony velvet scrub. And if you haven't done the lemony velvet scrub, and this is my very, very favorite spa treatment, honestly, it's the only one that I've ever had at Sandals, but I fell in love with it, so I just get it every single time now. Because the smell, I love lemon scent, and it definitely is lemony in scent. And then the just the whole experience is really good. So they start off just scrubbing you down with this lemony smelling scrub. And they get all parts of your body. And then after they get all parts, so they'll do like the back and then they'll turn you around and do the front. And after they get all the parts that you want, they leave and start like a shower for you and you go in and you shower it all off. You dry off and then you get back on the little bed for the second part, which is a massage. So you get a scrub and a massage. And the massage has lotion, so it's like you get the scrub and then you get hydrated again. And just afterwards, I kid you not, your skin just feels like velvet. So I love to get my spa treatment also at the beginning of a trip because if you get sunburned, it can be awful. Like our friends, they got sunburned and they made their spa appointment for later in the trip, and it was like they did not want to be touched in certain areas because they were sunburned. So I definitely recommend doing it first thing in case that you aren't prepared and accidentally get sunburned because the sun was really tough there. I'm gonna say like I had to apply sunscreen every like 30 minutes, otherwise I would have turned into a lobster. And honestly, I was a little redder than I wanted to be. So that sucks. But anyways, after that, I went back to the room, and waited for Robbie to get done with his stuff, and he was done by then. Because my appointment, my lemony velvet scrub was at 10, so I was done by like 11:30. He was done too. We were hungry, so we decided to go to Bayside for the lunch buffet. And it was they actually rotate what the buffet is each day at Bayside, and that's on the Caribbean side. So this Monday, it was actually Indian spices. And we are huge fans of Indian food. So it was amazing. This is a real picture. I take pictures of my food when I like it. So that's why you see sometimes pictures of my food and sometimes no pictures. And sometimes I like my food so much that I forget to take a picture. So there's that as well. I do want to mention, no, let's go here first. So we'll go down to this one. So after our lunch, we decided to go check out the beach. We did bring our own snorkel equipment because we do like to snorkel, and some of the Sandals beaches are good for snorkeling. This one, however, is not. It's very zero entry, gradual entry type beach, very shallow for a long way out. And because of the waves rolling in, it's very murky with the sand being rolled up. So you definitely can't see anything there. And honestly, I don't think there were any fish that close to the shore. So if you want to go snorkeling, I would just say go on the free snorkeling excursions that Sandals offers every morning and afternoon. Actually, I think they do it 2 times a day, which is fun. But otherwise, they did have photographers kind of out there for the resort. So this was a photo that they took of us. And we really liked it because it had the boat in the background and it was the beautiful sea. So we just went ahead and purchased that one. And you'll see at the very end, I'll give you some idea of what the pricing is for that resort photography. And then after that, we went back to the room for a little bit because we wanted to take a nap. We were kind of tired still. And I wanted to mention if you're in that room category, the VS, I did fill up the bathtub, put some soap in, and then I started the bubbles because it's a jetted tub, and there was just tons of black things floating all in there. I think what I learned was that it's just like it's not like mold per se, but it's like the jets kind of wear down the plastic and then it gets like kind of eroded and that's what you're seeing. So I myself didn't want to sit in that. So I just went ahead and was like, I'm not going to take a bath. So if you're booking that room because you saw the big jutted tub and you're very excited for that, maybe pass and get like a more upgraded room like the Sunset Bluff. I think they also have baths, maybe. I can't remember. Um, so after that, we got ready for the night and we went to Bayside for dinner. We actually had their French dinner there. And though a lot of the restaurants they're not reservation required, the butlers do make reservations for you so that you can get in quicker. So definitely if you have a butler, or you're thinking about club versus butler, that's something to take into account. And so we did the French dinner at Bayside because though it's like changing during the day for lunch, it becomes a French restaurant at night, and it's not a buffet at night. It's just a French restaurant. We ended up getting the escargot and the lobster thermidor. I was really excited for the lobster. I'm going to tell you right now, I was very disappointed. It's not like when I think lobster, I guess I don't know what thermidor means, but when I think lobster, I think like a lobster tail with like the meat on its own. This was like little pieces of lobster meat mixed with something else. So not my favorite meal there. But the escargot was amazing. Definitely recommend that. All right, so after that, we discovered that the Caribbean stage was where the entertainment was at that night. So unfortunately, like their schedule, so they give you a schedule of the week's events printed out in your welcome packet. That schedule I would take with a grain of salt, and I would probably use the app to check it because it changed constantly. It was like this entertainment was supposed to be on the Mediterranean side according to that sheet, but it was on the Caribbean side. So I think they just kind of do whatever they feel like doing. Like maybe there's just more people on that side, so they go, okay, we're gonna go over here this tonight. So if you go to some place expecting entertainment, there's nothing set up, like there's no chairs or anything. I would look at the other location to see if it's going on there. Um, and then they did change some of the events too. Like we saw that there was like a white best couple dressed in white thing. So we were like, oh, it's white night. So we were like, okay, let's wear white on Wednesday night. And then what happened was Wednesday night they changed it to something else, and the white competition was actually Thursday. So we wore our white stuff on the wrong day, and I don't know. It was very confusing to plan for anything at that resort. But the entertainment was amazing. That first full day, they had a cultural show. So they had a fashion show. So they showed some of the like fashions of Antigua women. And then they had a cultural show that included fire limbo. So there was a lot of fire dancing. And then at the end, they did this fire limbo. I did upload a video of all of the videos I took of all of the events and shows and entertainment that we saw throughout the resort. And this was one of them. So if you want to go see a fire show, like find the events video that I uploaded in my YouTube channel. Okay. And then after that, they were having a piano sing-along. It was very confusing. I don't know why they did it like this, but he set up a little keyboard down in the lobby instead of having it in the piano bar, which was upstairs. So this was the Caribbean side lobby. And he set up a little keyboard and everybody just sat in these chairs and sang along. It was still a really good time, really fun, really hilarious. We sang Bohemian Rhapsody and I was so drunk that I did the high parts and nobody else joined me, so that was fun. Um, and thankfully nobody got a video for blackmail. So we're all good there. But that's how we ended our night, and then we went to sleep because the next day we had scheduled our excursion. And I haven't yet, but I do have some wonderful video from this excursion, and I will get that into my YouTube channel. I'll get it like edited and up into my YouTube channel. It's just a little bit harder to edit because it was on my underwater camera for the Stingray City. So look for that in the future here. I will get that posted and you can see some like underwater snorkeling and the feeding and all the other things that they do on the Stingray City excursion, as well as a video of the Devil's Bridge and how beautiful it is there. Um, but other than that, let's just go through it here, what we did. So we woke up in the morning, we slept till 8, and we had to be, they meet at the Island Routes desk over on the Caribbean side. The meeting time was 8:30. So we woke up 8, had half an hour to get ready and get over there. So we wore just our swimsuits, and with like a cover up over it. My husband didn't want to, so you can see he wore like his full outfit and just brought a change of clothes for the Stingray City. Um, but we got to that desk at 8:30. They had towels waiting for us, so they do provide the towels. But just make sure you have change of clothes or whatever else you need to make yourself comfortable on this excursion. So they picked us up in a open back four-wheel drive truck. So there was I believe 8 of us or 7. There were 7. So there was myself, my husband, Jamie and Giles, our friends, another couple from our resort, and then we ended up picking up somebody from a different neighboring resort. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was another all-inclusive resort, and we picked him up, and it was interesting to hear his what's going on over at that resort because he was like, "Oh, they were out of beer yesterday," and it's like, "Oh, they never run out of beer at Sandals." So it's like you could clearly see that Sandals is a better resort to stay at, better all-inclusive, that doesn't have issues like running out of beer. Um, so anyways, that was kind of fun to talk to him. They took us around the village. It was like, I don't know, maybe like 45-minute drive kind of around the village. They'd stop, show us some trees, like the soursop tree, bays leaf, like they have a lot of aromatic trees there, like the leaves, they'll pick them up and be like, here, smell this, is amazing. So they kind of take you on a little bit of like a nature and cultural, I guess, through the village type tour. And the first stop is actually the first major stop is Devil's Bridge. It's beautiful there, don't get me wrong, very beautiful. But not as amazing as I would have thought. I mean, it's literally just rock that is jutting up over like a kind of a cliff situation under there. And it connects to the other side. So they called it a bridge, and the reason why it's Devil's Bridge is because it has a very very sad past where people have committed suicide there or tourists have tried to walk across the bridge, which you definitely don't do because it's very slippery. And they slip into that little cove area, and there is no escape from that cove area. You basically, if you fall in there, you die. So that's why it's called the Devil's Bridge. They also told us that due to erosion, it might not be around much longer. It might actually collapse at any time. So if you're there before it collapses, go and see it just for the fact to be able to say, oh, I saw it before it collapsed. But it was a pretty location. Don't get me wrong. It was beautiful. It was powerful. It has a history to it. So if you like kind of sad history, you can go there and check it out. But after that, they took us to Stingray City. So Stingray City, it's this small little building. So they have a small little building and then they have like another building with the restrooms and they do have a few changing rooms there, but only like 2. And then like I think it was 2 or 3 bathroom stalls, two changing stalls. At least for the women's, I don't know about the men's. And then a ton of picnic tables outside where you can hang out while you're waiting for your tour to start. And because I kid you not, like there were so many people. There were, I don't know, 100 people. Like it just seemed like a ton of people, at least more than 50. They have 3 different boats that they use to bring everybody out to the Stingray City, which is kind of like a just like a little shallow area out in the middle of the ocean. Um, So if you're a little wary about being out in the middle of the ocean, maybe this isn't for you. But basically, they have three different boats. They have a bigger boat, they have a medium-sized boat, and they have a small boat. I can't remember what the names of the small or the bigger boat are, but our medium-sized boat was named the Stingray Shuffle. The From what I understood, it was like the less people and the smaller the boat, the faster it went. So if you get stuck on the bigger boat, you're going to be the last one to the Stingray City. Medium boat was completely fine. It wasn't, by the time we got in, it was still very clear and good. But by the end of the experience, there was a lot of sand kicked up everywhere and it was starting to get murkier and murkier. So if you want to see clear, try to get on the Stingray Shuffle, or if you can figure out what that smaller boat was called, grab that one first. And you'll get there first and you'll get back first too, because those boats are quicker. So we grabbed the Stingray Shuffle. We got there. They gave us a little brief safety talk, and then they gave us scuba equipment. So you can see that on our faces there. And it was all sterilized and ready for use. Then they let you go into the area. You can kind of see here what it's like. It's just all of this is very shallow. But I will say where the boat was not shallow. So we actually had a friend who isn't a strong swimmer, and they do have life jackets, but you have to get them and take them with you. Otherwise, they're not available out when we're in the Stingray City. And she did not because we were thinking, oh, it's shallow, it should be fine. So we had to help her from the boat to get to the shallow portion and then back again. And then I think she was pretty much hanging onto her husband like the entire time because though it was shallow in a lot of places, it wasn't shallow enough for her because she was kind of shorter. So I just say, grab a life preserver if you need it, a life jacket if you need it. Um, if you think you might need it, and then just leave it on the boat if you don't, right? Or leave it on the dock. So it is like a little floating platform you can see here out in the middle of the ocean. They had they had ladders to get down in and back out. And then they had little stations set up. It was a pretty large area, so you could go and find like an area that wasn't as congested. They had feeding of the stingrays, and then they had pictures. So you can see here how big these stingrays were. They're huge. Like I hear stingray and I think like the tiny ones that you see in aquariums. No, these are huge stingrays. And they do take your photo. And this photo was available in their shop at the end. It was $18 for a digital. And they literally just take your phone and like throw it on there so you don't have to worry about like a QR code or anything like that. They just take your phone and load it on there and go, yep, you have it. So it was very easy. We paid with credit card, I believe. And then they also did have a little gift shop with like bracelets and stuffed animals and stuff like that if you want to bring home a souvenir and kind of support them. But this was me and my husband in our picture with our big stingray. I actually kissed a stingray, so I think you see that in the video. I was looking at it and it was hard because I was like angling the camera towards me as I was kissing the thing. So I think I kind of missed like the full portion of it. But I kissed the stingray. And so did my friend Jamie. And if I get her permission, I'll put that in the video too. And then they had like little squids that you hold underneath and they kind of like s swim by and suck it out. So there was a station for that, go feed a stingray, go get a photo, and then the rest of the time just snorkel around them. They're really fun to watch under the water. So I'll post a bunch of video on that later in my channel after I get it all edited. So anyways, when you get back, I would say if you want a photo, go to the photo place first. Don't go change, go to the photo place, grab your photo. Then they had free rum punch. They had both alcoholic and non-alcoholic versions. So grab one of those and then go change because there's only like two changing rooms. So if you're not the first one back, like there's why wait in that line? Why not just go get your photo and whatever? And honestly, for me, I decided not to change at all. I just threw my cover up back over. I was pretty dry because I had you can get out of the water whenever you want, but you can't leave until they leave, right? So I had been out of the water for like 20, 30 minutes by the time we got back. So I was pretty dry. I just threw my cover up on over. And then our vehicle was there to take us back, take us continue on our excursion because we hadn't had lunch yet. So our next stop was Betty's Hope Plantation. It's a it's an old sugar plantation. It is no longer in service and it's more like a museum now. So you can see the big sugar mill. And then they had signs like this, and a little museum portion too, where you go in and you can see like the history of the place. So kind of a cute little stop. And then what they did was they had picnic tables set up in that Betty's Hope Plantation area, and they did like a little picnic lunch. So they had like I think it was like jerk chicken and some other local favorites. Of course, rum punch. That's like the drink that they serve everywhere. And it was a good time. And after that, they took us back to our resort and we were done with our excursion. My one review there is that the Stingray City was the highlight. We could have left and not cared really much about the other two destinations, the Devil's Bridge and the Betty's Hope Plantation. So, I think in the future, if we ever went back, we'd probably just try to find something that hit Stingray City by itself and didn't take like a full day from us. Um, but after that, we went and we showered and got ready for the welcome home dinner was actually that Tuesday night. Usually we skip these because we're not a fan of how long they take because they're giving out awards to everyone, but our friends were actually getting Sapphire. So they wanted to go. So we said, okay, we'll go with you. And they have it once a week, so you got to find out when it is and you got to RSVP for it. And depending on where, like how many people RSVP for it, they'll have it in different locations. So this location, there must have been a ton of people because they had to have it in the ballroom on the third floor of the Mediterranean Hotel. So it wasn't very picturesque. I've been at other sandals where they have it on the beach or, somewhere cooler and it makes sense. But the ballroom, not that picturesque. And then the courses, so that you do get like a four-course meal, but it was decided for us. We've had other locations, I think. No, maybe it's always just been surf and turf. I don't remember. But they had like a tomato bisque, tomato bisque, and then another appetizer, I can't remember what it was, and then the main course, surf and turf, which was shrimp and steak. Um, and then they had I think it was like a lemon cheesecake or something. Unfortunately, by the time we got through our main course, it was already like 8 p.m. So this thing started at 6 and it was already 2 hours later, just getting done with our main course. And let me tell you, getting alcohol was hard. All I wanted was wine, and there was just nobody around to ask for wine. I almost like wanted to just go pick up a bottle on the side and pour it myself, but it was kind of a classy event. You're not supposed to do that. And I even went to like the bar on the outside and I was like, "Can I get a wine?" And they were like, "Yeah, your server will come to you." And then it was like, "Okay, server's not coming to me." So, okay, thanks. But either way, the food was just kind of all right. We were all kind of disappointed. Like my friends didn't even get to walk up. They just kind of said, "Oh, here they are." And they like stood up and waved and then they brought them their little like pin and prize or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the welcome home dinners, but we'll probably do the one at Ochi because I think we're reaching Sapphire in June at Ochi. They were one ahead of us. But because we were all kind of disappointed with the meal, we wanted to go hit Soy. And Soy closes at 9. We were actually just like, oh, we gotta go to the bathroom, and we kind of like ditched the welcome home dinner. But we did pick up the welcome home dinner did have your free bottle of rum there, so make sure to grab that on the way out. Um, and then we went to Soy. Soy is always a little bit of a wait because it's very popular. So we waited for 20 minutes. We always, a good tip here is bring like a trivia game. We always bring a trivia game where we're like asking questions and it's a lot of fun and it makes the time pass. They did have a bar, right there in the waiting area so you can get your drinks and play your little game. And 20 minutes later, we were sitting at the sushi bar and it was finally sushi time. I love sushi. Like all of us are huge fans of sushi, so you'll see in this video that we visited quite a few times. Um, but either way, tried a little bit of everything. I will say through all of our times, we tried like everything, probably. And we decided the Caribbean Dynamite roll is the best. So if you're there, try the Caribbean Dynamite roll. But other than that, after Savoy, we did stop by Café de Paris again because on our excursion they had talked about the soursop fruit. Is it a fruit? I don't know. They talked about soursop and how it is good for sleep. And we had seen that Café de Paris had a thing of soursop tea always out there. Unfortunately, when we went, it was very late, 9:30, 10, and the soursop tea was out for the day. So we didn't get to try that day. We tried it a different day because we came back a little earlier. But we were able to try the gelato. I got coconut and rum raisin. Coconut is amazing. Rum raisin is kind of standard. And then I got the macarons. Do not sleep on those macarons. They have different flavors out daily. Just go there and grab a macaron every single day because those things are delicious. But after that, we went back and went to sleep because we were all tired. So the next day, Wednesday, November 12th, this was a day full of diving, pool fun, and food. Lots of food. There's lots of food. So, so our in the morning, my husband, who likes to dive, went for his two tank morning dive. So this was his first dive with sandals ever because he got certified in the Bahamas when we were staying at the Atlantis Resort. So this was his first dive with sandals. He said the crew was freaking amazing. So if you're kind of on the fence of will they take care of me? Will they help me? I'm concerned. I don't know if I should dive. I don't know, all those things. He said the crew was very, very good. They talked you through all the safety stuff. They took you down. They made sure you came back up. Like they were very good crew there. And you get two tanks. So what that means is you get two different dives. They change the tank. Like you come up when the first tank is done and then they change it out. And I think it was two different dive locations that he went to. But it's every other day. So every other day. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. They were saying it's a two tank morning dive. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, it was one tank morning, one tank afternoon. So you could choose to do that. So while he was doing his dive, I went and worked out again. Yay, got in a second workout. And then I met my friend Jamie because Giles was still sleeping. I met my friend Jamie at Bayside for their breakfast buffet. Really good, just standard breakfast food. They did have like saltfish and other local favorites and an omelet station in the smoothies. Don't sleep on the smoothies, guys. That was kind of cool. I haven't seen smoothies at other Sandals resorts, but this one had smoothies. And those are really, really good. So go get the smoothies. Just everything you can imagine that you would want for breakfast. It was there. After that, we were kind of walking towards the pool and we had a mongoose sighting. I think I put it in my events video because I was like, mongoose sighting, because I took a little video of him and he stands up on his haunches and he was really cute. But Antigua has mongoose because they used to have a lot of snakes and the mongoose were introduced to control the snake population. So now Antigua doesn't have, I didn't see any snakes while I was there. It's obviously reduced quite a bit. So whenever you see a mongoose, make sure to say thank you for running the snakes out of Antigua. And then after that, we did some pool time. This was the main Mediterranean side pool. It's the biggest pool, and it has a swim up bar here, three different sides. Um, and then on the fourth side here is a walk up. So if you're just around the pool area and you need a drink, you don't have to get into the pool. You just go around and walk to the walk up portion of it. So we hung out here, lots of fun here. They always have like aqua fitness. every day. It seemed at like 11 a.m. there was aqua fitness. So if you needed a little workout, which I had already done mine, so I just watched people. Um, but they also have events like activities, so check your activity schedule. And then right next to there, it's actually like right behind you. You kind of see the umbrella right here, right here. Um, the hot dog stand is an addition that I don't believe a lot of other sandals resorts have. So it's just like this little stand that this person has out here, and they make all different types of hot dogs. I had a bacon jack and a Monte Cristo. The bacon jack was really spicy, so I didn't really care for that one, but the Monte Cristo was really, really good. So definitely try that one, recommend it. And then, funny enough, my husband came back from his two-tank morning dive and he was hungry, so I didn't throw it on here, but we went to Bella Napoli and we both got pizzas. He got the standard meat lovers. I got the Carpaccio or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but it was the one with the jerk chicken on it. Um, I don't think I'm going to stray from tried and true, meat regular pizza for Bella Napoli's in the future. I didn't really enjoy that one as much as I enjoyed my husband's meat lovers. But we both had a pizza, and then after that, we were like, you know what? We could go to Bayside and we could get dessert because it's a buffet, right? So let's just go grab some dessert at the Bayside buffet. So we went over there and we were seated, and they told us it was an Asian buffet, and of course we were like, oh, we got a bing bang, and by this time it's a triple bang for me because I had a hot dog, I had I had pizza, and now I'm having Asian food. So it was, oh my gosh, we ate so much for lunch that day, but it was so good. Definitely recommend the Asian buffet. And then I walked my husband off because it was after we spent a little bit of time at the pool with our friends. Again, it was time for his night dive. That was an extra thing. It was $120 extra, and they just go. I got this picture online, just to give you an idea of what it is. So they're just given like flashlights, and they go down and they look at sleeping fish, I guess. My husband said he saw a ton of sleeping turtles, and he said it was one of the coolest experiences of his life. Um, and so he definitely recommends the night dive. If you're into diving and you're there and it's going on, try the night dive. And then after, like, while he was on this night dive, we had reservations for Eleanor's, and I didn't throw it in here, but we went to Soy for pre-dinner sushi. This was me, Jamie, and Giles while Robbie was on night dive. And then we had a reservation at Eleanor's, so we got pre-dinner sushi. We went to Eleanor's. This is the ceviche salad, and I got the lamb, both very delicious, really good meal. One of the next tops from all the restaurants that we had there. And then my husband got back and he was like, I'm starving. So I went back to Soy with him and I just got a soup because I was like, I'm so full. I don't need anything but a soup. So I got a miso soup and he got all of his sushi. And then by then I had kind of gotten my appetite back. We walked to Cafe de Paris because we wanted to try that soursop tea. They had it, so we were able to try it. Kind of grassy tasting, honestly. So I'm not sure if I like it that much. But definitely try it. It's an experience. And then we got the signature crepe. Those crepes are amazing. Go get a crepe every single night. They're so good. And then obviously the macarons. Try all the flavors of the macarons. Definitely a place to go and get snacks. There was more snacking places at this resort than other Sandals resorts we've been to. So really cool experience. Just go around and get like all these different things. But that ended our Wednesday night. So we're going on to Thursday. So Thursday was kind of our couples morning, and we decided to do a snorkeling excursion. So remember I said Thursday, there's one tank dive in the morning, one tank dive in the afternoon. We decided he was going to do the one tank dive in the afternoon so we could go on a snorkeling excursion in the morning. So we took the snorkeling excursion. And just to give you an idea, so that was at 9, and we got there at 8:30 to sign in. And then there's no dock there. You put on like this little tummy. It just goes around your tummy, not around your arms like a regular life preserver. And you have to wade out to the boat. It's not too deep, just deep enough to get there. You can still touch the ground, and then you get up the ladder and you get on the boat. There's they fit you for the fins and give you all the equipment at the water sports, and you take it with you. And then they took us out and they gave us a little spiel about safety, and they actually described, where's the emergency phone at? How do you use it? Like, felt very safe. This was one thing that I've noticed this resort does really well on is just the safety. The crew is amazing. Um, but they explained to us there were nine different snorkeling locations. So every single day they try to rotate it and they tell you the name of it. So when you come back, they'll ask, okay, who, where has everyone been? And they'll go to a new location so you don't hit another one like the same one twice. So unfortunately, there was like a rainbow reef, I think, that they were saying would be really good, but then somebody on our boat was like, "Oh, I was there yesterday," so it kind of ruined the fun for us, and we got stuck with aquarium reef. It wasn't bad, it just, I don't know, it wasn't the best snorkeling that I've ever been on. And the one thing I did notice is one of the ladies on the excursion with us, she just took from the morning like a bread roll and she crumbled it up and put it into a water bottle, an empty water bottle. And then she took it with her snorkeling and just every little bit she was just letting the breadcrumbs out into the water and the fish were just swarming. So I got some good video of that too. So I think I'll also throw that into a video on my YouTube channel. So watch for that one as well. But definitely recommend that. Just grab an empty water bottle and a bread roll and the fish go crazy. So after that, we had gotten back by 10 and the windsurfing lesson was at 10. So he was able, my husband wanted to try it out. So he was able to sign up for that. Unfortunately, there was one other person that wanted to try it too. So he signed up. So they had to take turns. And what he learned from that is that it is very difficult to balance and pull up the sail, and that's what they work on. So he was able to pull it up, but he was not able to windsurf at all. And the windsurfing instructor said, yeah, it took me 2 months to learn. So it's not something that you can pick up just in one lesson. So if you're interested in that, you might have to book like might have to work on it ahead of time until you can do it, but they do offer the rentals there. So if you can windsurf, you have windsurfing equipment. But basically what I did while he was doing that lesson was I went and rented a SUP, a stand-up paddleboard, and I went out and kind of paddled around, keeping my balance, working on my balance, and took video of him. And he actually did get, like I said, he did get up and he did pull it up, but nothing crazy in that video, so I won't share that one. Um, but after the windsurfing lesson, he grabbed an SUP and we kind of went out and paddled around. It was beautiful out there, just floating on your SUP. And they let you go pretty far. So it's really nice. Then after that, we were hungry for lunch, so we went to Bayside. You can see Bayside's like our favorite because buffet, but actually I need to tell you the story leading up to Bayside. So we were hanging out at the pool and then we were like, let's go eat lunch. We were waiting for Barefoot to open because we wanted to go get lunch at Barefoot before his afternoon one tank dive. Um, and Barefoot was supposed to open at noon or was supposed to open at 11 and it didn't open until like 1. So there was something going on there. It just wasn't ready. I don't know. So take the open times with a grain of salt, especially for the lunch places. And then the hot dog cart too still wasn't open by noon. So we had to go adventuring because his one tank dive, I think it was like 1 or 1:30. So we had to go adventuring and find something else. We had just had pizza the other day, so we skipped that. We were like, okay, let's go to the Courtyard Bistro. We sat down, we ordered, um, because the other Bayside didn't open till 12:30, so got over there at like 12:10, ordered, sat down, was waiting for our food. By the time Bayside opened, I went in there and I was like, how close are we to the food? And they hadn't even started yet. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna hit Bayside, go ahead and take our order out. So we went to Bayside for the lunch buffet and we never actually made it to the Courtyard Bistro, so I can't review that one. Sorry. But at the Bayside, it was the lunch buffet. It was the American Comforts foods, which actually surprisingly was really good. Like they had like key lime pie and just really good comfort food, like American food. So that it was good. We got service really quick, and then because it was a buffet. If you want service quick, go to the buffet. And then I walked him back over to the other side for water sports because that's on the Mediterranean side, and dropped him off for his one tank dive. And then I went to hang out at the pool with my friends, Jamie and Giles, while I waited him to come back. And after he came back, we showered. I kid you not, we went to Soy again for pre-dinner sushi. We had a little bit of time between Soy and our kimonos reservation was at 9 p.m. So we went and found this amazing area. I think I put it in the events video as well on YouTube. But it's above the Mediterranean side pool bar, swim up bar. There's steps that lead up to this tower. It's a beautiful view at night, and there was absolutely nobody there, just one cat, which you'll see in the video. Um, but it made for a really good, quiet place to play a game that we had brought. So we played a little game, and by like 8:30, we were like, okay, let's get over to Kimonos. So we walked over to Kimonos for our 9 p.m. reservation. Kimonos was the hardest reservation to get. They basically, when we walked in, they were like, you're not on the list. So we had to call their butlers over that had told them, call us if they give you trouble. So the butler came and she worked her magic and we got into the 9 p.m. kimonos reservation. But yeah, that was the hardest one to get reservations for. I'm not really sure what was happening with the reservation system. Um, they were all writing it down like by hand. But I wonder if, because Jamaica had that bad storm and all the servers were down, so the app wasn't working very well. I wonder if usually they have it on the app or something, and that was not standard. So maybe that's what was going on with the reservations. Um, so yeah, that was a hard one to get into. Wonderful show as always. There's just this side and this side. We only had one side going. And we did have I think he was a Japanese chef there. He had studied and like they get people who are certified to do this stuff and are very good at what they do. And he was also very, very funny. So Kimonos is always a good time, always a good show. Definitely try to hit it if it's at one of the resorts you're going to. All right. And then the next day we woke up and played some tennis. So my husband and I are really big into tennis, but we only got out there once this trip. So we brought our own tennis equipment. But my husband's dampener broke. So he had to actually rent and they have free equipment at the spa. You have to go to the spa and rent it out of there, not the fitness center, the spa. They are right next to each other. But you just go there, you sign your name, your room number, and then they gave us a racket and they asked if we needed balls, but we didn't. So we had brought our own. So the racket was really cool. It was a Wilson. It looked newer. And it had a way of it that it was strong where it didn't require a dampener. So that was kind of nice. But you can see here the tennis area has two full tennis courts, and then they do have pickleball nets that you can put out, like they're up against the fence, and then you have to bring them out. The fence was missing. It was not completely all around the tennis court, which made it kind of hard for keeping the balls in the area. If you hit it really hard, you might lose it. I think we lost at least one. And it was made out of this material. You can kind of see it's not like it's kind of more of a porous surface, which I'm sure is for the climate there. And honestly, we enjoyed this better than at St. Lucia La Toc. They had a grass court. It was like a fake grass court. We enjoyed this material better than the fake grass. It bounced a lot better. It wasn't normal, but it was a lot better than the fake grass. So it was fun. We got out there, we played tennis. We only played to 3 games because it was hot. But I won. I won 3 games to 1 game. My husband only got one, so I won. And then after that, we went back, we showered, and then we hit the Mario's breakfast buffet because that's the side. So there's 2 breakfast buffets. There's Bayside on the Caribbean side, and there's Mario's on the Mediterranean side. So we hit the Mario's breakfast buffet, and I got the smoothies. I was talking about the smoothies. That's what they look like. So they had smoothies at both locations, and this was the saltfish. Gotta try both. Really good. Um, and then after that, we went to join our friends at the pool. We did poolside bingo, which was really fun. They played 3 different games. They played it where you had to get a tea. Um, and then they played 4 corners, and then they did losers bingo. And then they also had Name That Tune, which was like they played this song and you had to raise your hand and then they choose someone and you say the name and if you got it right, you got points. So what we found out from that is there's some sort of point system for doing these activities throughout the resort. You get a certain amount of points, sometimes for participating, or sometimes like the Name That Tune thing, you get it for answering correctly. Um, so it's like I think they said it was like if you get 150 points throughout your stay, you get some sort of reward. I don't know what the reward is. I've never done this. So if you know what that is or what that whole point system is about, please add it in the comments of this video because I am very curious myself. So please add all of your information about the point system and what kind of rewards you can expect to receive. All right, and thank you in advance. And then after that, there was a water show. When they said water show, I was thinking like jets and streams. I don't know why. That's where my head goes when somebody says water show. But what they meant was they had a singer at the pool's edge. So this is all still in that Caribbean pool. The singer at the pool's edge, followed by these 2 aquatic dancers. So they got into the pool and they did some dancing and lifts and it was amazing. Nothing like I've ever seen at a Sandals resort before. So that was really, really cool. After that, we finally hit Barefoot for lunch, and honestly, oh my gosh, it was so good. Um, Coconut shrimp and all that stuff. It was very good. Very good lunch. Then after we had lunch, we went for some shopping. So on the beach, there were vendor tents. So the beach at Sandals Grande Antigua is public. There is a fence there with security guards posted to make sure that you're staying with the resort or a part of the resort to come into the resort. So they do keep security there and keep the public out. But if you go on the beach, you're technically in the public area. So there's going to be people selling things. So there's people with tents that are selling like physical items. And then there were also people selling excursions or other things. Um, so we went to check out these little vendor booths, and they did have some cute stuff. My friends ended up getting a little toddler Antigua outfit and an ashtray, both going to be gifts for some people upon the return. And it ended up being so it scared them because it was like 110 Antigua or something like that. And they were like, what? Those 2 items were $100? But then when it came back on their credit card statement, it had changed currencies to $40 American. So don't let that scare you when they do the credit cards. They're gonna tell you it's in Antiguan dollars or whatever it is there. Um, and then it'll come back in US dollars, which is much less. Um, and then the other thing is, I don't know how, but even on the resort, there were a few vendors. So there were 2 tents selling physical products, and then there was one person with a whole bunch of like paintings, and these paintings were awesome. Like we ended up buying one, I think it was 30 bucks for a painting. So not a bad price for a pretty good size painting. We like to collect paintings from where we go and like put them on our walls and remember where we have been. So that was really cool. And then they also have a resort shop. It's a really nice shop with lots of Antigua type things in there. the one thing that was missing in my opinion was they did not have, they always talk about the black pineapple there. They did not have anything black pineapple related like jam or jellies, nothing like that. I actually did find one at the airport on the way back, so look there if you're looking for something specific. And I will say black pineapple jam, I think it was a jam, really, really good. Love it. Um, and then we hit the Photoshop. So this was the night before we were leaving because we left on Saturday, November 15th. So we had already gotten our checkout envelope with here's the time that your bus is scheduled, here's when you need to be checked out by, blah, 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 and here's your bill. So if you already have that, and you're shopping at the resort store or the photo center there, you can no longer charge it to your room. So you just make sure you bring a credit card with you. We learned that the hard way. My husband had to run back, get a credit card, and then he came back. We were able to purchase a few souvenirs from the store, and then we went over to the photo shop and we purchased a few digital photos from there. And then after that, we went back to barefoot twice in one day because that's when we had to do it. Um, because we had reservations for barefoot dinner that night. It was so good. Oh my gosh. This coconut shrimp and I don't know. Barefoot, honestly, I feel like Barefoot had the best food. And definitely the best drink. Try the watermelon, it was spicy watermelon margarita. That was amazing. So definitely get one of those if you're going to Barefoot. I think it's their signature drink. And we learned that late that every single restaurant that has a dinner like has their own signature drink. So try to order those when you can just to see what they are. And then after that, we went back to the piano bar. They were having another piano sing-along, but so it was open and we hadn't really gotten to hang out in the piano bar. It's beautiful in there. It really was. It's a small little cozy space. It was quiet because a lot of people didn't know it was open. And we went up there and we grabbed a table and we played our board game until the piano sing-along started. Once the sing-along started, we were like, oh, let's stay and enjoy, but it ended up being a lot of repeat songs. So we were like, okay, let's get out of here. So we went back to the Drunken Duck because we needed those chicken wings one more time, and I ended the night with a Guinness because I felt like I needed a Guinness. So that's the full review because the next day we got up, we ate at Mario's again for breakfast buffet, we checked out, and we went on our way to the airport. Um, yeah, got our souvenirs at the airport and traveled all the way back home, no issues. So I do want to go through like things you should know, tips and information. So first thing, check this restaurant schedule upon check-in. Oops, oops. Because it lists all of the times it is open as well as when it is closed. So the restaurants do have like days that they can be closed. So definitely check that out. Make sure you understand when things are closed. Next thing, watch your step. We found these cute little snails all over the place. So just don't hurt them. If they're on the sidewalk, just step over them. Don't try to pick them up though, because they like suction to the sidewalk. So they're very hard to pick up. So just leave them be, let them get on their way. The thing here, try the soursop tea. Like I said, very grassy. This is what the fruit looks like that we saw. This was a picture from our excursion that I took. But yeah, go try it. It's an experience. Use the app to check your activities because they changed very quickly at this resort, like I said. Visit the water sports desk on your very first day because they have this wonderful map. This is all of your diving and snorkeling locations. So you can figure out, which ones do I want to go to? And then they do also have things that aren't advertised on the website, like when you're booking activities online. Like this night dive was the tour of the day, night dive, 120 per person. They also have super snorkel. It looks like every Wednesday and Friday, and this may change based on when you're there, so just go check out the board. They do have person minimum. So like for this night dive, thankfully Robbie signed up because they had four people and they needed five. So they would not have held it with only four people. So thankfully Robbie signed up and all five people were able to go do that night dive. And then dive cruise, private dive, shark dive. So they even have some interesting stuff. So go check out that board and make sure you don't want to sign up for something like that. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting that I took a picture of was your short-term dive accident coverage. My husband did purchase the DAN, I Dan, I think it's called, actually. So that's just like a yearly subscription type of insurance. But if you're just doing it for like one day on your vacation, super, super easy to sign up for some accident coverage in case something goes wrong. So they do have that. Keep that in mind. And then continued. Like I said, here is the Photoshop. I would visit it on your first day just so you understand, because if you let those photographers on the resort take pictures, you will find pictures that you want. So I want you to understand what is the pricing on this. And you can see here 10 resolution digital images plus one frame is $200. And for each digital image, if you just want to get a digital or a print, it was $20 per image. So I think we just bought, I don't think we did a package at all. We just bought like a few of the images that we liked. But definitely go there and understand how much this costs. And then I did also see this really cool flying dress experience that they had up. So I mean, let's say you wanted a picture like this. They provide the dress and take you to a location and take the photos. And then it says all high resolution images are included. So even though it's like really expensive, 375, you get the dress provided, your image is included, 20 minutes of professional coverage, and two different locations in that first package. So if it's something that's on your bucket list to get these really cool flying dress photos, they have it. So go have fun. And then if you are going to book, they do have the free photo session. That's how they get photos of you that you really want to purchase, right? So they give you a free photo session. Just have to go there and you book it. I would say schedule it for the sunset. That's what we did here. Amazing photos. They did take us and get some daytime photos first, and then they did sunset photos. So just ask them, I want to just tell them I want to do a sunset photo shoot, and they'll help you get that scheduled. And then the last thing, when you do purchase from there, take a photo of your receipt so that you have this QR code and you can download your pictures in case you lose this little receipt, because that is how you get your photos. And then lastly, just two other points I want to point out. Look for all of these amazing little details like these sandals lights. Sandals is everywhere, and I love how they theme everything, like everything just seems so high end, high class there. And I love these little details like the sandals lights were very pretty. And then right next to Eleanor's, there is a lounge area that is just public use. You can go there and sit whenever. There is this orange cat that always hangs out on the ottoman there. Go say hello to that orange cat. I don't know his name, but he was always there and he was always ready for pets. So if you're a cat person, go say hello to the orange cat in the lounge next to Eleanor's. All right. Lastly, I just want to let you know all of this and more information covering the twin nation of Antigua and Barbuda is all in this new guide that I posted in my shop, my Etsy shop, the Sunshine Bird shop. It is 15 plus pages of information, a section for each island, including an overview, top attractions, beaches, things to do, wildlife, and so much more. You'll learn when to visit, how to get around, general information such as the culture and entry requirements, packing essentials that you should bring. Plus, I update my guides every single year. So I actually posted this one as 2026 since we're so close to the new year. But I will be updating all of my 2025 guides that I previously did this year into 2026 guides, and everyone who bought those gets access to the 2026 version as well. So it's like free lifetime updates to these guides that you are also purchasing. Super generous pricing, view only for only $4.95 and a Canva template for $14.95. And who knows, as I update them, I'm going to improve them. So they could go up in price later on. So just make sure to grab them when they're at this price. And if they're a little pricier when you go and look, that's what happened. I added and added and added until it made sense for them to be a little pricier. So go and grab that. I'll put the links in the description because I have the view only, and then I have the Canva template version, which is editable and rebrandable for other fellow travel advisors. But definitely go and check those out and purchase them, and you'll be supporting my small little business, the Sunshine Bird Vacations. So thank you in advance. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, like this video, comment on it, give me your feedback, and then subscribe to my channel so you see everything else that I post. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.